Breaking news.
6 people shot dead and 1 injured at local Hutt High School.
This is One News.
At 3:30 this afternoon, a Year 11 Hutt High School student brutally shot down 5 of his classmates and 1 teacher in what appears to be a hot-blooded murder.
There is currently 1 student in a critical condition in Hutt Hospital. We are waiting to hear from the severities of his injuries.
It is understood the school rugby team was gathered in the gymnasium, and the convicted had recently been rejected from the team. This is the strongest motive for the murders that we have at this point.
We are now crossing over live to our on-site reporter, Johan Casanada.
Come in, Johan.
Yes, I'm here at the local Hutt High School, just outside of their gymnasium, where one of the school students that attends the school has just brutally shot down 5 fellow classmates and 1 teacher. The police have only just set up a cordon around the scene, and they are currently investigating into any clues that could have led to what has provoked this horrific act. I've been trying to find teachers that were in contact with the convicted during the day, and I have found a report from a teacher that he was very disruptive during the day and very abusive towards the teacher. He was also said to be very on edge. I can report that as the convicted was taken from the scene of the crime here just a few hours ago, he had a very calm and collected, very calculated look on his face. A look that told me he wasn't fazed by what he had done. Back to you guys in the newsroom. Thank you, Johan.
Only an hour ago, the armed defender squad moved in to contain the assailant and were confronted with a scene of utter horror.
He has now been taken to a youth penitentiary where he will remain under name suppression and further investigation.
We'd now like to welcome Dr. Lawrence Campbell, psychologist of 30 years who has had several sessions with the convicted prior to the murders.
Welcome, Dr. Campbell, and thank you for coming at such short notice. We understand you may not be able to answer all of our questions due to patient privacy.
So, Dr. Campbell, how long did you spend with the convicted prior to these murders? Yes, well, the patient came to me in 2009 with apparent mild depression. His condition was very changeable, and he had an alarming amount of suppressed anger.
Thank you, Dr. Campbell. Can you give us a short account on your patient's history?
Just for the record, the convicted finished up with our weekly sessions, much to my concern, several weeks before today's events. He is of 16 years of age with average academic skills. He was living at home with his mother and father, younger brother. His upbringing and family dynamics were unstable, to say the least.
Do you think the incident had an element of revenge, or was it a so-called crime of passion?
It definitely would appear to contain elements of hatred, anger, and, yes, revenge.
The police have just released a photo of the convicted. They have also released this statement.
Quote, "The injuries sustained by the convicted, shown in this photo, were not sustained during the arrest. The police arrest was carried out smoothly, with no protest from the assailant, and the injuries were sustained prior to the killings."
The parents are currently under questioning. Dr. Campbell, after hearing this report, are you able to shed some light on the family situation?
Yes, my patient often came to me with horrific stories where he'd been abused by both his mother and father. We were in the process of trying to separate him from his parents when he suddenly stopped coming to my sessions. My guess would be that the parents had something to do with this. There is no reason to sympathise with this boy, however, the whole picture must be taken into account. My heart goes out to the families of the victims. I'd like to leave the families and friends of the victims with this quote. "Forgiving does not erase the bitter past. A healed memory is not a deleted memory. Instead, forgiving what we cannot forget creates a new way to remember. We change the memory of our past into a hope for the future." Lewis B. Smeads. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Campbell.
Join us after the break as we look at the latest upset in the 2011 Rugby World Cup.
That's right, I'm John Paul Denford.
And I'm Tim Coleman.
And thanks for watching One News.